You ever been risen abroad and get rejected and all your skibbity riz goes to waste and all your aura's gone? Guess what? In the UFC, people also lose aura. So today we are going over the 10 biggest aura losses of 2024. Lucas has his list. I have my list.
All right, let's go.
Let's get into it.
The Gen Z is really captured now.
Sigma.
We got their attention. Okay, I'm going to start off with my number 10. We're going to go from, not the smallest because these are all top 10 moments, but our lowest ranking number 10 all the way number 1, who lost the most amount of aura in 2024 specifically. At number 10, I have Israel Adesanya getting submitted by the real African champion in his home country. I say home because, he's more of a China guy, but Australia is close enough.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Izzy didn't make my list, but he's definitely someone, when you have that 10 spot, there's a bunch of people who can kind of fit in there.
Yeah, well, I think the bigger names have more aura loss because they have more aura to begin with.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of smaller fish in the sea of UFC. Well, that was a tongue twister that have aura losses, but Izzy did have he has that anime aura where he's trust.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I feel like he did lose some aura with that.
All right, moving on. My number 10 pick, Sergey Pavlovich, when he lost to Volkov and then after the fight gave him that little zesty push.
I forgot about that.
I put Sergey Pavlovich on your kind of because when he lost to Volkov and that fight was terrible, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, he also did the little zesty shove after.
Yeah, no, save the fighting for after the fight.
Yeah, that was his most significant strike.
Yeah, that was weird. Two friends who used to train together don't really do that much in the fight, and then afterwards, Pavlovich gets kind of pissed at him for nothing.
Yeah,
there wasn't a reason. I think maybe Pavlovich was mad at himself for not putting on a good fight, but took it out on someone else.
Yeah, on Volkov after the fight.
Because Volkov was mogging him in the corner.
Doing his hair.
All right, I'm going to move on to my number 9 pick. I have Justin Gaethje getting flatlined by a featherweight and then having infinite backflip into KO edits.
I see at least one of them every single day.
Infinite backflip KO edits being made of him. I genuinely, on my Twitter timeline, I see at least one of these a day. At least one per day.
Lucas, can I tell you something?
All right.
I also have Justin Gaethje at 9.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
It's literally all you need to see is that reel of the backflip into the knockout. He lost so much aura by getting knocked out by Max.
Yeah.
It's title contender. He's oh, now you can hang on at the bottom of the card, Justin.
Well, it's not even I think the reason why I put him so low is because Max was a good competitor. Mm-hmm. It's not like Max is some bum and he's getting clipped on by a bum. Max is one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah, it's not like Josh Emmett flatline Gaethje. That's a different situation. It's Max Holloway, who, I mean, technically is the 5th ranked lightweight.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Only 3 or 4 spots different. So yeah, the fight didn't really lose him a ton of aura, but just
the moment,
and then all the reels.
The way that he
edits.
Flopped over, he just folded on the ground head first. It's tough to see. I was a Gaethje fan. These guys make fun of me for saying in that fight at UFC 300, I had Gaethje. Almost all of them had Holloway in Dodson's corner. There's about 5 of us, and I was like, guys, just wait. Gaethje's moment is coming. He can knock Max out at any second because he has so much power. And I kept on saying this until the 5th round, and then he got flatlined.
And then I got naked. I took off my clothes because Holloway lost with 1 second left, and I had Holloway decision. Sorry, Holloway won.
Yeah, Holloway KO'd him.
Yeah, all right, moving on. Lucas, your number 8.
My number 8 pick is Robert Whittaker having 2 training camps for Khamzat Chimaev, then getting his jaw broken inside of 1 round. I hate this for myself because I was so confident that Robert Whittaker had the experience and the grit to make it out of 1 round. And Khamzat is just so legit. I still hear and see people saying on Twitter and YouTube comments, Khamzat's overrated. His wrestling isn't as good as Islam's or Khabib's. Dude, it is.
It is better.
It might be the best.
I have said it here. I said it last week in a video. Khamzat might be the most talented fighter inside of the whole UFC.
His chain wrestling, how he just floats over top of people and doesn't let them out of his grip, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he's unreal.
Yeah, and so Whittaker, I can't put this too high, but the pictures after where his jaw was pushed in, and just the fact that he did have 2 training camps and he was like, this is my resurgence. I'm going on another title run. I was really disappointed.
That's fair enough. My number 8, this is a personal one for me. This one really felt good to watch this man lose all his aura.
I forgot.
Bobby Green changes his name to King Green and then gets submitted by Paddy Pimblett in the first round.
That's a goated pick right there.
Because, like, Paddy's a great fighter and, like, is better than King Green. But to change your name to King Green and then go get submitted in the first round by the little English boy who could, legendary. Yeah. Legendary. That's what dreams are made of right there. And everyone was hating on Paddy. They're like, oh, Bobby Green's got it. And then just boom, round 1. And he was dead. Like, he tapped him out. Bobby Green couldn't even tap out. He just laid there.
Yeah.
He was dead.
Yeah, he was out cold. I think he got him in like 2 submissions, right?
Yeah, he had like an armbar and a choke or something.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
That's a great pick. You're getting stuff that I haven't even thought of on here.
Yeah, I've been cooking a little bit.
You're not a casual anymore.
They were kind of hate. After all the hate I got on my like GOAT list and some of my other, someone was hating on my predictions. We had the same predictions.
What?
Someone was like, "Oh, Lucas's predictions are so good."
Yeah.
We had the same predictions all video, guys.
Didn't you predict Paul Craig?
No, I glazed Bo Nickel.
All right, let's move on to number 7. My number 7 pick is Volk showing up to his own press conference in an old man outfit. Then he gets KO'd in round 2. The clips lost a little bit of aura. Again, it's not super high because Volk is Volk. He's a nice guy. He doesn't have like the most, he's not like a scary aura guy anyways. I wouldn't say he has that much aura even before he got KO'd. He was just like a really good, almost like polite fighter. So I don't know. This isn't like the most aura lost, but I do think him making the conscious decision to show up and buy an old man outfit is an L.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Like, he didn't lose a ton of aura in terms of the ring, but like Volk, the man who is Volk, lost aura that day.
Yeah, and even like the after videos when he gets KO'd and then he's making his YouTube like, reacting to the fight, how it went. Like, he's just depressed, man. He's so sad and it hurts to see.
My number 7, the French soldier gets brutalized in front of his home country. BSD got decimated by Moicano, and man lost all credibility, all his aura. He lost everything that night.
Yeah.
That he got 10-7'd and then like probably a 10-8 round, and then it was a doctor stoppage and it was over.
Yeah, there's not much worse you can do.
Sorry, no, the second round wasn't a 10-8. I think BSD almost won the second round.
Yeah, BSD almost won the second round.
But that's because Moicano was like, "Oh, I already won this fight. Let's let his eye close."
And with someone like BSD, you don't want to take a risk of getting head kicked.
Exactly.
Because it's just, he does have so much power still, and he has I mean, the heart that he showed is impressive, but don't let that take away from the fact that Moicano absolutely fraud checked this man.
Yeah, he lost all aura. There's no aura left with this guy.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on. My number 6 pick is going to be, this one could arguably higher now that I'm looking at it. Leon getting head bonked by Bilal and then falling asleep in the wrestling exchanges. The clips from this fight, even though it was a very, don't call me casual, boring fight, it wasn't the most exciting fight that you could see in a main event title fight welterweight. The clips were pretty funny.
Bonk.
He was literally had his eyes he was just dozing off against Bilal's shoulder. He's just getting a quick nap in between rounds. He had a lot of rest time in that round.
He sure did.
Yeah. So, and then also obviously there's the, how he's just got spiked on his head. He bounced off the canvas.
And then the fact that it happened to his brother a few months later in the PFL is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
His brother got bonked on his head.
it's the Edwards curse.
Clearly. My number 6, Mario Batista holds Jose Aldo up against a fence for 15 minutes, and then all of UFC, mixed martial arts, social media wants this man to retire, get fired,
fight Alex Pereira,
fight John Jones, fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Just everyone, the whole community turned on this man after what he did. None of his takedowns worked. He went 0 for 10 on takedowns.
That's crazy.
Just held Aldo against the fence, did no damage. Like 15 minutes of no damage. Like,
It's funny, like you go into a fight as Mario Batista, you go into a Jose Aldo fight and you're thinking, you know, this is my fight. This is my chance against a legend of the sport. I can gain fans from Jose Aldo because he has a massive following. People are going to have eyes on this fight, especially when that card wasn't very good anyways. You could really stand out. What does he do? He loses the most amount of fans I think maybe anyone has ever done.
Yeah.
In a single fight. He didn't have fans to begin with. Now he has.
But the 3 he had were gone. 100% of his fans gone.
Now whenever I see his ugly face, I hate it.
Oh.
On UFC 5, like I've actually taped the part of the screen where his face goes. I just hate to look at him.
Oh, Lucas. Yeah, he's cooked. Whoever he fights next, like the whole community is going to just be rooting against him.
That'll actually be fun because low-key, a lot of people are going to watch that fight preying on his downfall.
Give him yawn or give him like Song Yidong.
Oh yeah, that's
just like
it's not bad.
Piece him up.
I've also seen, you know, he asked for that Henry Cejudo fight, and Cejudo just absolutely just clipped on him. He dog walked him. He was like, maybe try having an exciting fight next time. You know?
Yeah.
Are you just gonna hold me against the fence like you did with Aldo? That's crazy. All right, my number 5 pick. You've already said this one, so I won't talk about too much. BSD getting KO'd by Dustin and then getting beat TF up by Moicano. That's what I have written down here. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Dylan already said it. It's one of the worst things that can happen to you in the UFC. You get pretty much 10-7'd, and then Moicano just kind of waits for you to get doctor stoppaged. It's one of the worst cuts I've ever seen. Those new gloves, we haven't talked about that actually. The new gloves, probably by the time that you guys are watching this, have already been thrown out the window. Old gloves are back at UFC 309, and Dana says they're going to be back for the foreseeable future. I'm excited. The new gloves were not getting KOs. They had a 10% worse KO rate. The cuts were so much worse. Like you think about Khalil Roundtree, you think about the girl, I don't know if it was Irene Aldana, but the chick who had a massive, like maybe the worst cut ever. And then you have BSD getting cut like that. There's something up about those gloves. The foam padding that they use, something.
It was weird.
Anyways, yeah, that's my number 5 pick. BSD.
And it was in front of his home country too, which makes it even worse. Like being in front of your home country.
True.
Moving on, my number 5 is a guy you already talked about.
All right.
Leon Rocky Edwards getting like the Gronk spiked on his head. That's all I'm actually gonna say. It's just Gronk spiked on his head, and then all of the infinite TikToks and reels.
Yeah.
Lucas said it all. Bonk.
And now those green shorts, whenever I see him in those green shorts, I get shivers. Yeah. It's nasty.
Oh.
All right, let's move on to my number 4 pick. At number 4, I have Jiri Prochazka getting wobbled by Pereira looking at him. The amount of aura that Jiri lost, and also it's not just that. It's the fact that it was combined with him having like a crooked samurai, what do you call that, hairstyle, you know, a little ponytail just sideways. And then Pereira just side eyes him. He's like, Riz. Yeah, he kind of looked like the Rizzler in that. Anyways, yeah, Pereira has so much aura and he used his shaman magic. That was another thing. In the buildup of that fight, Jiri complaining that, like, he legitimately thinks this. You guys think this is a joke? Jiri actually legitimately believes in his heart that Alex Pereira is using magic. Think
Lucas,
about that.
I think it would be some shaman magic to tell you that my number 4 is Jiri Prochazka.
No way.
Another one.
Wow.
But yeah, gets knocked out twice, basically. I mean, he technically didn't get knocked out at the end of round 1, but just if that fight was 10 seconds longer, done.
100%.
And then immediately just head kicked.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
And then just the aftermath, the stare, gone. Like, yeah. And after like trying to be like this, like trying to keep up with Pereira doing the stare down at the beginning and then just.
Yeah. The stare downs were epic.
Yeah, sent him to like 10 years in the Forbidden Cave.
All right, let's move on to my number 3 pick. You're not going to like this one. I have Sean O'Malley getting kissed by Merab, and just the whole fact that he didn't really look like he was in the fight, in the sphere. A bit of a letdown for probably the biggest card that they've ever done. Yeah, I just think the clips that came from that fight, it wasn't the worst. Like Merab he had that thing where he did like, he looked at the kick. Like that was a bit forced. But then the kissing on the back, it's just like, oh man, it hurts.
I didn't put Sean O'Malley just because I think that Merab's stuff was all like, it wasn't natural. Like it seemed like he was trying to do that, which I mean doesn't have the same impact as like Pereira staring at a guy and the guy falls. You know, like it just was like, oh, this is like. I would say Sean O'Malley almost lost more aura in the aftermath of the fight, trying to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Guru said that I won, so I won.
Yeah.
I'm the champ still. Like,
That's all kind of part of it.
yeah, it's like, it's all part of it. But my number 3 lost more than just aura. This man lost his job. Muhammad Makayev comes out, literally is jumping Manel Cap multiple times.
Yeah.
And then they hate each other. And then they go out to have the worst fight of 2024. And then Makayev gets cut. Like, what?
Yeah.
All aura gone. You're not even in the UFC, bro.
I genuinely thought about putting that one on there. That was like my number 10, 11. But yeah, Makayev, he has fights with people in the hotels. And then he just doesn't do anything in the fights. Like, as a fighter, what are you thinking?
Yeah, because he's got his boys, and then he gets in the cage, and they just terrible.
It's weird because he's also an undefeated flyweight. Like one of the, not hyped because he didn't have super exciting fights, but like one of the biggest prospects in the flyweight division because there's not that many. There was Steve Erceg and him, and now Steve Erceg's on a 2-fight.
Well, Tetsuya Taira.
Yeah, Tyra as well. But yeah, I was just really disappointed in Makayev because this is one of the fights where they have bad blood and nothing happened.
Before we move on to 2 and 1, Lucas, I peeked at your list.
Why?
As I always do. We have the same 2 and 1, so we can kind of talk about them together.
How'd you? I was pointing my phone away from you. You got those eyes.
I know. Those eyes, they can go and light up the night sky.
All right, so at number 2, I have Jamahal Hill.
Whoa, no way. I have Jamahal Hill at number 2.
That's crazy, man. Disrespecting Pereira, then getting clipped on in the first round, then not being able to accept his loss, saying it was a fluke, then pulling out of the McGregor card. This is a 4-part aura loss.
It's not even 4 parts. It's been a whole year. It's ever since like basically the build up to 300 to now.
Yeah.
Just straight going down the hill.
This is like long forgotten news, but didn't Jiri Prochazka and Jamahal Hill both said that they had fight news coming, and now we still haven't heard anything about it? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, they're fighting each other.
And now nothing. So
that's the new main event of UFC 310. Oh. Get hyped.
Jiri Prochazka saving another fight, getting knocked out at another short notice fight.
For his little brother.
Yeah. I don't know. This one, there's not much to say. We've harped on this
every video
so much. He has no aura anymore. He might have lost the most amount of aura in UFC
outside of
one man
who we have talked about even more every single video.
It's Jon Jones saying that I have personally, for my moment, this is when it cemented it for me. He'll vacate his UFC heavyweight title just so he doesn't have to fight Tom Aspinall. That's the moment that did it for me. It set it off.
I don't know if I have a specific moment, but it's just been a whole year of ducking Tom Aspinall, saying the stupid stuff. Or when he had the screen and then there was the little hidden message on the TV.
Oh yeah.
About I am ducking Tom Aspinall.
That was gold.
That was gold too. I don't know. It's everyone knows what's going on. He knows. Dana finally knows clearly. He's got his head out of the gutter.
Mm-hmm. Can I talk about one thing? I know this might get a little bit of hate, but does anyone else in the comments, you can let me know, and Dylan, you can obviously let me know. Does anyone else feel like Jon Jones, he's such a fake person? He plays the biggest nice guy. He has a Bible verse written on his chest. He talks about, he on his new shorts, he had my favorite Bible verse on it. And the way that he talks in interviews, the way that he talks in press conferences, every single word that comes out of his mouth seems so incredibly fake.
Yeah, it just seems like he's lying. Like he's just living a lie, and he's spiraling, and he's spiraling, and he's spiraling, and he's spiraling. It's like when a snowball goes down the hill. It's just bigger, a bigger lie, a bigger lie. It just cannot stop. And he just got to retire at this point. Like his career has just been filled with controversy the whole time. It's just like more. And it's just like, and I think a lot of people respect him if he was finally like went out and talked about all this stuff, but he can't. He's too deep into it all.
Neither of us particularly love DC, but even the way that Jon Jones talks to DC now is still like the most fake, I want to be friends now. Like he said this fight week specifically, Jon Jones said, I want to, how did he word it? Not rekindle, but I want to squash the beef pretty much.
But DC hates Jon Jones.
Yeah, but Jones is saying this just because he knows that DC never will, just to get under his skin a little bit more.
Exactly. Like John Jones is like, oh, I'm the good guy. I tried to repair this friendship.
Exactly.
I tried to do all this stuff. But there was nothing to rebuild. You know, like
No.
it's on you that this is destroyed. And you know what? Sure, forgiveness is great, but you did so much terrible stuff to a lot of people, you know? And it was your actions that didn't just affect you, they affected the people around you.
And how many chances has he had to make up? Like how many chances has he had to prove that he's not actually a bad person? He's probably had 3 or 4 now, and every single time the UFC defends him, whether it's failed tests or whether it's, you know, jail and all that sort of stuff, every time the UFC defends him and gets him to come back, and then he just goes out and does it again. He cannot change.
All right, boys, before this video gets any deeper or any realer, we're going to end it here. Let us know in the comments what you think the biggest aura loss of 2024 was, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
So yeah.